story. Everybody ain't your friend, everybody ain't your partner. I say I got you. Well, just hold it down and keep it solid. And when you're not around, I protect your name, I won't talk about you. Everybody ain't your friend. Fake love, I don't need it, you can keep it as a fact. Fake love, I don't need it, you can keep it as a fact.
What's going on, y'all? Yes, I am early tonight. Yes, I am. You know what? This is a watch party. Oh, this is a watch party. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, honey. It's countdown time. It's countdown time. 10 a.m. in the morning. Y'all just don't understand. And good evening, everybody. How y'all doing on this it's raining here. Let me see who's in here. And I pinned the link. If you want to hit the link or call the hotline, if you have any comments on what you think Tim's going to get, I also have a poll going. Make sure you participate in the poll. Good evening, Miss Deborah. You was first up in here, and I appreciate you, okay? I appreciate all of you that may come in. All right, I do. I truly do appreciate you, honey. It don't take but one or two of us I would say we're not here for a long time, just a good time. Hell, we might be here all night. I might stay on here till Tim is sentenced. No, I'm just kidding. I can if I want to. Okay, hello, Miss Annie. How are you doing? Kizzy K is in the building. Hey, Kizzy, how you doing? Double for your trouble. What's up, Kizzy? Miss Annie is in here. Alice, BOG, how you doing, Miss Alice? Thank you so much for all you and Miss Annie. All you guys text me faithfully every morning, and I do appreciate it. Sometimes, and when I don't get them, sometimes I be like, "Dang, they mad at me? Where my text at?" I be looking for that text. Hey, Latasha, how you doing? What's going on, Latasha? Girl, hey, I'm gonna say, hey, Tasha. Hey, Tasha. Tasha K. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, good. Boss man, the man of the hour. Boss man is the man of the hour. Okay. He's a boss man. He ain't no BAN or no PAN. He's a boss man. Now figure those acronyms out, okay? All right. Darlene. Hello, Darlene. How are you? St. Louis, where y'all at, I need the Lou to show up. St. Louis, where y'all at, St. Lou? The Lou need to come on up in here. Come on up in here. Jillian. Hello, Jillian. It's your girl, Philly Phil. Okay. We've been on this case. We've been covering it. We done covered it from the rooter to the tutor. I done went down hard for this case. I need y'all to come on up in here and support your girl. Okay. Shout out to Miss Michelle Griggs coming in the morning show this morning. Yes, honey. Let it be known that even Philly Phil Talk Show and more is you get stars over here. You got Miss Jackie Foley, you got Miss Michelle Griggs, and all of you all are stars, okay? Shauna, how are you doing, Shauna? How are you doing? Well, Tim better get comfortable with his new home. Y'all know he got a new home and I got some new glasses. With his new home, he's so familiar with. Oh, goodness gracious of mine. Hello, Miss Louise. Oh, I told this story just the other day. I grew up in Beaumont, Texas, in Magnolia Gardens, and our neighbor, her name was Miss Louise. How are you doing? Simply Red. Hello, Simply Red. Good evening, PP. Okay, guys. I just wanted to, look, I'm gonna take my time tonight because I'm early. I don't have to rush. I don't have to rush, honey. If you want to sit here with me, you can. If you don't, I'm going to do what I do anyway. I'm going to always keep on pushing. I'm going to always keep on pushing. You know what? I think I'm going to go in here and make myself, I'm going to make myself big. I want you to see me tonight. Yeah. Yeah. It's still me with the ponytail or hanging and a swinging. What's up? Oh, kids are speaking of some QST made me a puzzle. Yeah, I was the first one to get the puzzle. I'm always say that. Okay. Often imitated, but never duplicated. All right. Yes, my puzzle is up in there, put together, taped up, sealed, and nobody better not ever touch it. Okay. I mean, nobody better not ever touch it. Now, if you got a puzzle later on down the line, just know that she thought about me first. I'm her first love when it comes to puzzles. All right, y'all. I'm just having fun. I don't mean no harm or no disrespect. I'm just having fun because I feel good because tomorrow Tim Norman will be sentenced. And we've been waiting so very long. Do y'all remember when it first happened and we found out about Andre losing his life? I was like, Andre, oh my goodness. And then it went 2 years. Where did it go? 16. It went 4 years that there was nothing. You know, it was like just a cold case. But let me tell you something. I'm just giving you guys a little background history. His mother, Miss Michelle Griggs, she never gave up. She had what they called the dream team, a bunch of prosecutors, investigators, and all that stuff put together that she was working with. She never gave up. She called that doggone St. Louis police. She called them every day. She never yielded. She never let go and stop fighting for her son. No, she didn't. Okay, so this sentence that we're going to get tomorrow, I want you guys to know it just didn't happen overnight. There was a lot of hard work, effort, dedication, research. Long when people wasn't talking about Andre, nobody was thinking about Dre. Folk wasn't even thinking about Dre. Miss Michelle was calling them folk. You got anything new? Anything going on? Long when folks was moving on, doing their own thing. Wasn't thinking about Dre. Wasn't thinking about justice for Dre. Oh, no. Miss Michelle was still calling them folk every day. Asking, where are we on the case? Do you have anything new? What's going on? She never gave up for her son. I mean, it was literally a cold case. Nobody knew. Oh, but then they had a break. They had a break. Okay, they had a break. And I'm going to tell you something. And I remember when Tim got arrested and it came across the wire. And I'm like, because we had all just wondered who could have done this. You know, we wanted anything, evidence you had, any type of tips, come forward. And when they announced that they had arrested Tim Norman in Jackson, Mississippi, for the murking of his nephew, H-Town in the house. What's up, Francis? I could not believe. I liked Tim, child. I was when the show was going on, I was like, Janae, get on my nerves. I thought that they need to leave Tim alone. That's what boy, I'm gonna tell you. You can be fooled. Ooh, I fell for the okie doke watching him on that show. But I always loved Dre's character on there and his personality. Yes, I did. Along with so many of you. Along with so many. Tonight is a reflection. Tonight is a reflection, okay, of the case and all of the the investigation and just everything that has gone on, everything that the people have reported on this, including myself, have gone through. Might have been put through a little something because I'm reporting on this case. But I will not yield. Okay? Justice for Dre. And tomorrow, Judge Ross will deliver his sentencing on Mr. Tim Norman. Oh, we got a call coming in early. Hold on, let me check it out before I let y'all hear who it is. I am doing just fine. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cincinnati, Ohio, but originally from Chicago, Illinois. This is Deborah.
Deborah, Chi-Town, aka Cincinnati. Okay, Deb, what you want to say, girl? How you doing?
I want to thank you for the awesome job from the beginning to the end of Tim's case. And thank you for informing us and everything. But I'm a little bit kind of worried tomorrow. I know Tim should get life, but I believe he got to get at least 32 plus, which Chevelle got. But he got to get life tomorrow. Nothing less.
I have it on good authority that he's gonna get. Somebody gave me life. I got it on good authority. He getting life. Okay.
Yes, I'm claiming life.
Claim your life, honey.
I'm claiming life. Yes, I'm claiming he getting life.
So Deborah. Now, Deborah, look.
Yes.
You see the can you see the picture up there? You see Dre up there?
Yes.
And then you see these three right here. These three people right here. The one in the middle, she followed him and then lured him outside of 3964 Natural Bridge. Got him to come outside. So the other one over there with the gray hoodie on, Travell, aka Loco, could, once he spotted him, take him out. But Tim over there smiling. That's his mugshot, smiling. He was the mastermind. Now, this is his nephew.
Yes.
Now,
and I got to say, I'm so glad you spent no money on that character letter for Tim. It was.
But yes, honey, I wasn't gonna spend a dime on them character letters, girl.
No, they in denial. I think Tim has deceived those people, and but
right,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yes.
But I'm just surprised Terica only got 3 years.
Well, Terica gave up a lot.
She did. She really did.
She gave up a lot of information, and I want to know Miss Michelle is comfortable and happy with her sentence.
Okay, good. That's what's important.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
She is okay. She is satisfied with it because the big fish is the one with the smile on his face. You see the other two people they're not smiling.
Yeah.
They literally have regret for what they did, I believe.
Yeah. But they're not smiling either.
But look at him.
With that smile like, oh, I ain't going down. Oh, you going down, buddy. You going down. Tomorrow.
You better know it. Tomorrow, less than 24 hours.
Yes.
Doesn't
So
it
would
feel
you be
good?
able to report on your lunch break or something? Let us know something
Well,
on
there's
your lunch break.
there's people there's people there, and but yes, I mean,
Okay.
as soon, once I find out on my lunch or whenever, yes, I would definitely let you know. But you're gonna hear about it. Trust me, there's a lot of people reporting on this now. There's everybody and their mama reporting on it now. May not have been in the beginning, but baby, they are now, honey, and which is a good thing.
Yeah,
But
I want to hear Philly Phil's report.
And you're gonna get it. I'm gonna come with it, honey. Ain't nobody gonna do it the way. Ain't nobody gonna do it the way we do it over here.
Phil.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I've been with you since the beginning, and I'll stick it to the end.
Thank you so much.
If I'm gonna stop tomorrow, I've got a subscription, and I'm just gonna keep it up.
Thank you. So wait a minute, y'all. I got some technical difficulties. Hold on, y'all.
Tonight, because I know it's a lot of your members out there, it's subscribers online now, and they got things to say too.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Deborah, for calling. I appreciate it, and thank you for supporting the show.
You are so very welcome. Keep up the awesome job. Keep it up.
Yes, ma'am. You know I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was Deborah calling in. Thank you so much. So last night we were reading, I believe it was, hold on a second. Thank you, Patricia, for the super sticker. I truly do appreciate you, honey, for supporting the channel. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Okay. Thank you so very much. And we have another one. Thank you, Darlene, for the super sticker. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you for supporting the channel, honey. I want to thank you. Okay. We're going to go ahead and continue to reading some of this document from last night, which was, this was the prosecution's objection or response to Tim's objection to the pre-sentencing report, which is a report that the judge will have and has reviewed and will be using when he sentences him tomorrow, when he gives him his sentence. Okay. It says, I left off at, as indicated above, the government submits the defendant's assertion in the form of a statement made by his counsel in a pleading to the court does not constitute evidence on which either the probation officer or this court may rely. In the absence of any actual evidence to support defendant's objection, the United States opposes this objection. Any resolution of defendant's objection, PSR is pre-sentence report, will have no impact on the calculation of either the total offense level or the defendant's criminal history computation. And they go by points when he gets sentenced. They're going by points. Furthermore, outside of defendant's assertion that JA no longer wishes to prosecute, the government has no evidence that this is truthful or that the District Court of Fort Bend County, Texas, would not proceed on the complaint despite any alleged recalcitrance on behalf of the victim, given the severity of the allegations. As such, defendant's objections should be overruled. Any resolution of defendant's objection will have no impact on either the total offense level or the defendant's criminal history computation. The government has no information to support or refute defendant's proposed addendums to his physical health conditions as set forth in his PSR objections. Francis said, I hope he gets life. Miss Francis, he probably will be getting life. I believe he's going to get life. I believe he's going to get life. Okay. Norman's criminal history computation as set forth in the PSR is not overstated. Defendant concedes in his objections that the 6 criminal history points assessed in 46, both of which were in 45 and 46, both of which were crimes of violence, because Crim had a criminal history, are properly assessed under, and they give you the statute there. Although the defendant acknowledges that these convictions are properly considered within the criminal history calculation, defendant objects on the basis that the age of these convictions means that they are just barely properly incorporated into the criminal history calculation. Document number 496 at 5. In so asserting, defendant concedes that these convictions are properly factored into the criminal history category score. And they give you the application note there. A sentence imposed more than 15 years prior to the defendant's commencement of the instant offense is not counted unless the defendant's incarceration extended into this 15-year period. Let me make sure I enunciate my words correctly here. Here, as the PSR recognizes, the defendant does not contest, defendant was released from custody on the offense described in paragraphs 45 and 46 of the PSR on January 27, 2009. See, his criminal history goes way back to the way back to the way back. Then he served all that time in prison, 10 and a half years, and you get out and you order a murder for M for hire. Man, you didn't even go in for nothing that harsh. Whew. Okay. Defendant commenced the commission of the instant offense at least as early as October 14, 2014. The date of submission of the first life insurance application. Come on, Angie Dennis and Sailor Fleming. Y'all better work your prosecutorial magic here. Placing defendant's term of incarceration a mere 5.5 years prior to defendant's commencement of the instant offense, well within the 15-year limitation described in application note 1, blah, 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 blah. As the Eighth Circuit has repeatedly recognized, the inclusion of such conviction in a criminal history category is appropriate. It is clear that juvenile sentences are considered in calculating criminal history, and that Allen committed the instant offense less than 2 years after his release from confinement on a sentence properly under section. We conclude the district court correctly assessed the points. Tim, all your points are correct. Defendant also objects, he objected to everything. Also objects to the inclusion of certain facts regarding the previous convictions as irrelevant and prejudicial. First, the United States notes that the defendant does not object to the accuracy of those facts, but simply to their inclusion in paragraph 45 and 46 because they're accurate as irrelevant. Okay, expressly mandates that this court consider the history and characteristics of the defendant in making its sentencing determination. Defendant's conduct while incarcerated is directly relevant to this court's consideration of 3553 factors. U.S. versus Orellano. They always quote you, honey, so you can go look up this case and know why they're citing it, because precedent was set in that case, okay? Precedent, baby. That means it already happened. I'm gonna go back and reflect on that to show you why you got to do this. Affirming district court's rejection of a request for a reduction of sentence where defendant had engaged in post-incarceration misconduct, finding that defendant's conduct while incarcerated was inconsistent with acceptance of responsibility because the conduct described of the PSR is probative of the history and characteristics of defendant. It is properly before the court for consideration in its sentencing determination. Defendant's objections to these paragraphs really amount to an objection that that the defendant's criminal history category substantially overstates the seriousness of his criminal history within the meaning of that case, which states as follows. Okay, they're citing that statute there. Downward departures. Standard for downward departure. If reliable information indicates that the defendant's criminal history category substantially overrepresents the seriousness of the defendant's criminal history or the likelihood that the defendant would commit other crimes, a downward departure may be warranted. Will this defendant, Tim Norman, if he is released, would he be likely to commit additional crimes? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys think he would, or a 2 in the chat if you think he would live a straight and narrow path and become an altar boy. I'm just curious. Defendant does not dispute the factual accuracy of the statements. Look at the ones, Tim, in 45 and 46 of the PSR, inasmuch as defendant provides no evidence indicating that the convictions in substantially overstate his criminal history. Defendant has failed to satisfy the reliable information standards set forth in this guideline. Defendant does not cite this court to any case that would support the conclusion that it is error to use criminal history points the defendant has conceded or properly assessed in order to determine a defendant's criminal history category score pursuant. This is all, guys, what the judge is going to use, and to Tim just trying to get his points lowered so he can get less time. Okay? This is what we're reading right now. This matters. Defendant concedes in his objections that the points assessed for his 1996 and 1997 convictions when he was riding bikes, robbing McDonald's through the drive-thru, do properly factor into the criminal history calculation. That defendant's convictions count, but just barely, is not a basis for this court to disregard the properly assessed criminal history points in this matter. Thus, defendant's objections should be overruled. Come on, somebody. The inclusion of the search condition as a special condition of supervised release as proposed in the PSR. Firstly, as the only sentence authorized by law is one of mandatory life. Somebody gave me life. The defendant will never be released from the Bureau of Prisons, so defendant's objection on this matter is perfunctory. However, the government contends the only thing on the table for him is mandatory life. However, Dre, can you hear us, Dre? However, the government contends that the search condition as proposed by the probation office in the PSR is proper and his objection should be overruled. Defendant cites no law in support of his objection to the search condition and ignores the facts and circumstances of the offense of conviction in his objection. Somebody done me wrong. The jury found the defendant guilty of using a cellular telephone to facilitate the murking of his own nephew for profit. Come on, somebody. Did y'all wait a minute? Let me play this for Dre for the one time. Just for the one time, baby Dre. It took a long time, but your mama never gave up, Dre. Your mama Michelle never gave up. She didn't yield.
It's been a long, long time, honey, but I know, yeah. Store. Everybody ain't your friend, everybody ain't your partner. I say I got you. Well, just hold it down and keep it solid. And when you're not around, I protect your name, I won't talk about you. Everybody ain't your friend.
Okay. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. It says the jury found the defendant guilty of using a cellular telephone to facilitate the murking of his own nephew for profit. Okay. Now, this statute here says provides as follows. The court may impose other conditions of supervised release to the extent that such conditions are reasonably related to the nature and circumstances of the offense and the history and characteristics of the defendant. The need for the sentence imposed to afford adequate deterrence to criminal conduct, the need to protect the public from further crimes of the defendant, and involve no greater deprivation of liberty than is reasonably necessary for the purposes set forth above and are consistent with any pertinent policy statements issued by the sentencing commissions. He was contesting the things, if he was released, the things he'd have to do. The goals are codified. Because district courts enjoy broad discretion in the imposition or modification of conditions for terms of supervised release, an appellate court will review only for abuse of discretion. United States versus Davis. They're giving you a case to go look up in case you're doubting Angie Dennis and Sailor Fleming at what they're talking about here, okay? The Sentencing Commission recognizes a search condition may otherwise be appropriate in particular cases. And there's the cases. Look it up. Look up these statutes here. Permits a district court to impose any other condition it considers to be appropriate. The Eighth Circuit has upheld the search condition in cases where the defendant's underlying conviction was for drug-related offenses. He was trying to talk about that phone, honey. That phone is going to stay in there. Wherefore, the government requests this honorable court enter an order consistent with the foregoing and impose the only sentence that is permissible under which is a sentence of imprisonment for a term of life. Willie D, let me borrow this. Ghetto boys. At night, he can't sleep. Tim gonna be up in that saying, at night I can't sleep. A toss and turn. My mind's playing tricks on me. Yeah, buddy. Which is a sentence of imprisonment for a term of life. Respectfully submitted, Sailor A. Fleming, United States Attorney. Angie E. Dennis, Gwendolyn Carroll, Assistant United States Attorneys. Okay. Y'all see that? Yeah. I gotta do it. I gotta do it real quick, y'all. Just a little bit of it. I gotta do it. Let me see here. I don't want the live version. I want just the... This might be it. All right, y'all. I just had to do that real quick for the one time. There you go. James Timothy Norman. Oh, that was the night he was going off on Janae. He had a temper. He got a temper, y'all. You know, he got a temper. And But oh boy. Yeah, Miss Michelle, you can smile because somebody gonna give him life. He took your son's life. Now he gonna get life. How about that? Okay, let's get back over here. Okay, that was done. I was through with that. I was through with that one. So I'm just happy. There's a sentence going on tomorrow. It is what it is. I can't Let me look at some of y'all comments. Let's look at some of the comments. Good evening, Philip. If you ever want to have a question in any of those letters written by, oh, we can't do all of that, honey. I didn't pay for none of the letters. I hope Andre hunts him for the rest of his life and will and is and gonna do it. Tim gonna close his eyes. Andre gonna be like, hey, want to fry some chicken? Simply read, yes, ma'am. Okay. Miss Fab, hello, Miss Fab. How you doing? Shaw, life in my Joseph voice. Life. Okay. Jam on it. You better know it. I don't play too, so I'm gonna be editing this thing. I had to do it. You did that, PP. Okay. Yes, I can't stand to look at him. All right. Let me find my the next thing that I want to talk about real quick, guys. So give me a minute. Okay, I am back. I'm back. 1 second. Let me get up to where I need to be so that I can pull this up. So, Tim had he had asked for a new trial. The judge, he asked for this. Remember, we reported this. His attorney, Mike Leonard, asked for a new trial a long time ago. The judge waited until the day before sentencing to give out his verdict. Okay. Now, this matter is before the court on defendant James Timothy Norman. Renewed rule number 29, motion and defendant Norman's motion memorandum in support of his rule 33, motion for a new trial. The government filed an omnibus response to defendant's renewed motion for judgment of acquittal. He wanted a new trial and to be acquitted, and motion for a new trial. The time for filing a reply has passed, so this matter is fully briefed and ready for disposition. For the reasons stated herein, the court denies both motions. Come on, somebody. Okay. Rule 29 states the court on the defendant's motion must enter a judgment of acquittal of any offense for which the evidence is insufficient to sustain a conviction. Okay, and then they give you something you can cite. Upon the defendant's motion, the court may vacate any judgment and grant a new trial if the interest of justice so requires. Discussion. Rule 29. Norman renewed his oral and written Rule 29 motion for acquittal, which was made at the close of evidence. After a 9-day jury trial, Norman was convicted of M for hire conspiracy, M for hire count 2, and wire and money and mail fraud conspiracy count 3. On September the 16th, another Dre Day 2022. Tomorrow is Dre Day number 2. As it found previously at the end of the trial, the court finds that the evidence was more than sufficient. Okay, look at this, guys. As it found previously during and at the end of trial, the court finds that the evidence was more than sufficient for a finding that Norman was culpable of participating in a plot to murk his nephew, Andre Montgomery, on March the 14th, 2016. I want you guys right now to just close your eyes or whatever to picture Dre learning how to drive in the car with Charles. Picture Dre playing singing and just having fun. Picture Dre waiting tables, being so kind and sweet to the customers. Picture Dre right now. Picture Dre with his mom and his siblings And then look at this right here. All right. They found of participating in a plot to murk his nephew. Okay. The government presented Norman's text messages and co-defendants Wally, Travell Hill, Terica Ellis, Christopher Kerr, and Ed Chandler. The government introduced certified cellular telephone records of those users to establish their subscriber identities and to provide location information March 13th, 14th, and 15th. The location information was further verified by government witnesses Terica Ellis, Travell Hill, and DJ Howard, aka DJ Beats, as well as FBI Special Agent Bastain. The government provided these text messages between Montgomery and Terica Ellis in the days prior to and on the day of the murder. The government demonstrated that Ellis and Norman used burner phones throughout the day of Montgomery's murder. FBI Special Agent Freud testified that Norman's burner phone shadowed the location of his regular cellular telephones on March 14th. Ellis testified that Norman had her find and relay back Montgomery's location throughout the day. Ellis was at the scene of the murder and notified Travell Hill that Montgomery was present. Hill told Ellis to move, and Ellis heard gunshots as she drove away. Hill testified that he shot Montgomery multiple times outside of 3964 Natural Bridge. At 8:02 p.m., 911 was called. Ellis testified that she called Norman at 8:30 p.m., and he told her to leave the area and dispose of her cellular phone. Travell Hill testified that he met with Norman prior to the shooting and understood that Norman would pay Hill to murk Montgomery. Hill further stated that on March 16th, Norman told him to meet DJ or Daryl Howard to accept $5,000 as payment for Montgomery's murder. The government introduced a photograph that Howard took of the money near the Peabody housing complex. In support, hold on a second. In support of count 3 for conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, the government presented evidence of the submission of 5 different life insurance policy applications to insure the life of Andre Montgomery, for which Norman was the beneficiary. Likewise, Norman and Wally exchanged text messages regarding hiding life insurance policies for Montgomery and his mother, and for Yagman to impersonate Montgomery on the telephone with insurance companies. The government provided evidence that false information regarding Montgomery's health, income, employment status, and home address was provided to insurance companies in various telephone calls, faxy smiles, fax messages, and electronic mail communications. On each application, Norman was the intended sole beneficiary. Although Norman testified that Yagman acted alone in providing the fraudulent information to the insurance companies, the court declines to disturb the jury's reasonable credibility determination, particularly giving the overwhelming evidence support of their findings. And you can go look up that case to see why they're doing that, okay? A jury's credibility determines are well nigh unreviewable because the jury is in the best position to assess the credibility of witnesses and resolve inconsistent testimony. In sum, as previously set forth in the record, the court finds that sufficient evidence supports each count of Norman's conviction. The court denies the renewed motion. Okay, so pretty much, guys, he just denied his request for a new trial. All right. Motion to compel defendant Wally and Christopher Carroll. Norman asserts that the trial court erred in denying his motions to compel Wally and Christopher Carroll to appear at trial. Norman argues that Yagman and Carroll should have not been allowed to invoke their Fifth Amendment rights. Norman claims that Yagman and Carroll waived their Fifth Amendment rights based upon the audio and or video statements provided to the government. The defense never served Yagman with a subpoena. In any event, Yagman's counsel indicated to the court that his client would assert his Fifth Amendment right not to provide incriminating testimony if he were brought before the court. Defense counsel subpoenaed Carroll to testify and provide an offer of proof. Carroll appeared and upon the advice of counsel, invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to testify. The court finds that representation to the district court by witness counsel that the witness would exercise his Fifth Amendment rights if called to testify is sufficient for the district court to refuse to compel that witness to appear. And they give you a case that you can look up to find where precedent was set. Finding no error, the court denies a new trial. Look at that. Come on, Judge Ross. He delivered it to him the day before he sentences him. Jury instructions. Norman argues that the trial court erred in refusing to give his proposed jury instructions instead of the instructions actually tendered. Norman offered no new or additional argument besides what was previously in the record. Norman's counsel waived any objections to the tendered jury instructions. Therefore, the court finds no basis for a new trial as to the agreed upon jury instructions. Okay. Failure to object in accordance with this rule precludes appellate review. You better know it. You better know it. Hold on, guys. Wait a minute. All right. A party generally may not assign error to a jury instruction if he fails to object before the jury retires or to state distinctly the matter to which that party objects and the grounds of the objection. Number 11, Norman claims that this court erred in its response to jury questions. Norman provides no new or additional argument than what was previously in the record. The government relies upon the record made at trial. Having been presented with no legal arguments or evidence, the court refers to its prior determination and decision and denies the motion for a new trial. Motions for mistrial. Norman claims that the court repeatedly erred by denying him the right to present a defense, barring Norman from introducing information regarding the relationship between Andre Montgomery and Norman, why Andre Montgomery left St. Louis for several months, why Andre Montgomery was removed from his residence, Norman's financial situation, and the insurance application meeting involving Yogman, Andre Montgomery, and Norman. Further, Norman claims the court erred in allowing evidence regarding American Express bills owed by Norman. In response, the government relies upon the record made at the time Norman made his motion for a mistrial. Having been presented with no legal arguments or evidence, the court refers to its prior determination and decision and denies the motion for a new trial. Proposed defense expert Russell Luce. Norman claims that the trial court erred by not allowing the testimony of his proposed expert Russell Luce. Luce would have testified as to common insurance policy purchasing and insurance practices. Norman claims that Luce's testimony would have rebutted the government's argument that Norman's purchase or attempted purchase of insurance policies on his nephew, Andre Montgomery, was unusual. Norman claims that Luce's testimony would have controverted the government's insurance company's witnesses who were allowed to testify that Norman's applications were out of the ordinary and fraudulent. The court excluded the testimony of Luce based upon defense counsel's late and inadequate disclosures. Defense counsel provided no expert report, no fee schedule, no list of cases wherein Luce had testified, and no documentation relied upon by Luce in forming his opinion. Because defense counsel did not provide a summary of Luce's proposed testimony and the basis for his opinions as required by the federal blah, 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 court correctly excluded him as a witness. And they tell you to cite that case. Okay. The point is denied. Evidentiary objections. Norman summarily asked the court to revisit all of its evidentiary trial objections. The government refers the court to its prior arguments made when such evidence was presented at trial. Having been presented with no legal arguments or evidence, the court refers to its prior determination and decision and denies the motion for a new trial. Okay. Closing argument. Norman contends that he should be granted a new trial because the government stated during closing arguments that at the meeting between Andre Montgomery, Norman, and Yogman, documents were shoved in Andre's face and he was forced to sign them. Norman's counsel did not object to the presentation of this evidence during closing arguments, so the court reviews any statements for plain error. And you can see that case for precedent. If the defendant has failed timely to object to improper statements, in this case, we review only for plain error and reverse only under exceptional circumstances. Under the standard of review, Norman must demonstrate a reasonably probability that the outcome would have been different absent the alleged error. Initially, Norman misstates the government's closing argument. In the closing argument, the government argued that Norman conspired with Yogman to knowingly deceive the insurance companies to obtain and collect on a life insurance policy. The government identified text messages between Norman and Yogman and insurance records providing the evidence of the illegal conspiracy. The court finds that the government's closing arguments included information and evidence to support the verdict, and Norman has not been demonstrated that the outcome of his trial would have been different absent the government's argument. The court holds no new trial is warranted. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that defendant Norman's renewed Rule 29 motion and defendant Norman's motion memorandum in support of his Rule 33 motion for a new trial are in all bold caps denied. Dated this first day of March 2023, John A. Ross, United States District Judge appointed by Barack Obama. Okay, guys. I just feel good. I don't know about y'all, but I feel good. I feel good. Baby, we're going to get us a sentence tomorrow. All right. I'm going to play a little bit of an old show. So you guys listen to this, and then I'm going to get out of here. Okay? You guys listen to a little bit of this.
And it's seriously wrong. Start your channel and then run it how you want to run it.
Okay, and Sean, let me cut you out real quick. We have a caller. Let's take this call real quick. Hey, let me see. Haywood, are you there? No, he's not. I got somebody calling. Wait, they hung up. Call back now. Call back. Okay, go ahead. I done said what I had to say for that for right now. You know, I'm good. I haven't done anything to anybody. All I've done is try to bring a voice to the families of the victims, you know, their loved ones that they've lost. And that's what I will continue to do. I'm not going to stop. Justice for Dre and justice for Carlita. Okay? If you don't like that, you don't need to be over here. Okay?
And I'm going to say this. Yeah. And I'm going to say this.
Call in. Hello.
Hey, my friend.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just fine.
So I've been waiting all day, hoping the Drew's going to be on. This is what's happened. All your old contents are coming on, like cooking channels and all kinds of different stuff. A year ago, 4 years ago, this stuff. I've been caught up. I feel like I've been mixed now.
I got a lot of videos, honey. I meant to tell you, I got a lot of videos out there.
Yeah, but they were just popping up.
Thank you.
So they were not. So
thank you for the cash out, Miss Eleanor. I do appreciate it. Okay, thank you so much for the support.
I won't thank you. I know you mad, but is you going?
and earlier, back earlier, because you're in the live and look at stuff. And I'm like, where's she at? Where's she at? So I started going to all the different channels trying to figure out where you at. You know, so because there's one that's a notification for breakfast. But I'm like, good morning.
That's on Monday. That's scheduled for Monday.
Yeah, well, bottom line is, I just call you because listen, once again, I just feel like you're like real family, like on my mother's side. Now we are sisters on my father's side, we serve the same God. But my favorite relatives are on my mama's side, and they live in Michigan. it just feels like you're like real family. So
I'm your
I just feel
cousin,
that way.
girl. I'm your cousin on your mama's side. Okay.
Huh?
I'm your
You
cousin.
my cousin on my mama's side?
Yes.
Well, I ain't getting done already. What's up, cuz?
Yes, I
So
am.
listen, I guess, okay, now, see, I wasn't even calling you to tell you this, and then I wasn't going to try to do certain things because some things they need to do. But anyway, now since I have you on the phone, because you know. So listen, so every month, the third week of the month, I will be sending you something. Now you can put it on the donation for the, I don't think you need it. But okay, so fine, so be it. But then you can put it wherever you want to put it at. That's up to you. I'm just sitting in front of my heart just because you're my friend. Point blank period.
Thank you.
Not to try to get no brownie points, not to try to get no glory. It's just that it's been put on my heart to do so. And so now since I've said it, I have to do it. But in the same token, I'll do it anyhow. However, I know this is not one of those calls that we like we hang it out. But damn it, I mean, God forgive me. Oh, Jesus, forgive me, Lord.
It's okay. You'll be all right.
But I feel it. You see, he ain't told me yet. I'm still a work in progress.
Me
That's
too.
why he ain't took me out. That's why I'm still here. Because there's still some things he got to correct in my life. But I'm quite sure my mentor is being prepared. However, I'm just a human, spiritual being in a human body. So I make mistakes, but I don't like to use curse words. So I had to ask you to just forgive me for that. But in the same token, you do have to pray for people. I know it takes a while. It takes a while to get this thing right because we ain't all gonna be right. You know, we can quote scriptures and we can do this other. It took me a while to get to where I'm at in life, so it's gonna take a while. But the thing about it is, you do have to pray for the enemy because when you pray for the enemy, then God, bottom line is the word says to do so. So this is the thing. So see, he's not gonna take him out. He's not gonna remove him and this and other. The thing about it is, what happened is, like you said, he'll make your enemies your footstool. He'll prepare a table before your enemies, which is your table that you sit in front of on the platform, and that's your table right there. So the people see you, okay? So the thing about it is, God, he wants them to see you because it's going to elevate you to a whole nother level, which is going to blow everybody's mind, even yours. But the thing about it is, like I said, just remain humble, that's it. And just keep, you ain't got to keep, another thing about this, you ain't got to keep, and people shouldn't have to keep telling you this and other stuff. So the fact is, the situation has already been taken care of. God don't start stuff the day we start talking about it. It's already been preordained that he's already taken care of. It's already done. The Bible says no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Oh, things are going to come at you. Never going to try to throw darts. He's going to do this other. But you're covered by the blood of Jesus. And it still works. It still works. And the thing about it is, you have to put on the whole shield of armor. Every morning, even when you pray, just like, Lord, protect me. Lord, from danger seen and unseen. And then he will. And it's just that simple. First of all, I think you really. Anyhow, and there is not a prayer, my right hand of God, there is not a prayer that I have prayed that the Lord has not come through. And that there, I know for a fact. So I'm praying for you, and a lot of people praying for you. And if the Briggs and the Foley's are behind you, God done it, that's what it's about. So that anybody else ain't with that, they can, I just say, the new people say kick rock.
Kick
But I
rock.
just say just keep it moving. Bottom line is, I love you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You don't even know. I'm quite sure other people do as well. But I'm here to tell you, people, they can take this, they can do this other. I want you to know that Lorraine heard 17, that's just on the video. But Lorraine heard from born and raised in Milwaukee,
And
Wisconsin.
I think, wait a minute, Miss Lorraine. Hold on.
In Arizona.
Let me hold up, Miss Lorraine. This thing is messing up here. I don't know what's going on. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. The phone was messing. Okay, Miss Lorraine, go ahead.
Oh, you know what I was saying?
No, I heard you when you saying Miss Lorraine heard the phone started messing up. I'm sorry.
Okay, I said that Lorraine heard born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that now resides in Maricopa, Arizona, love you from the bottom of her heart. My right hand to God. Now, I don't know about these other people that I love, but I am your friend.
Thank you.
If you need me to be your partner, I'll be your partner as well. Doggone.
You too.
Because the wild
Yes.
that thing, the wheels fell off.
Okay,
Now, I'll let
come
you
on
go.
with it.
I'll let you go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
bye-bye.
Hello.
Hello, yes, sir. How are you?
Oh, shoot, Phil. Hey, go ahead with your bad self with your birthday weekend. What you doing?
We are live.
Oh, I'm live with you.
Yes, you
Yeah.
live with
Okay,
200.
well, pour yourself a little margarita, because we celebrate your birthday the whole month of August, all right?
Okay.
If we do that, it might be a little problem, maybe, a little bit, I don't know.
Why?
Respectfully with Brother Sean.
What?
And I say this in utmost respect, but something I heard about last weekend when we were on the conversation and stuff, and okay, give me a second to get it out with, because the thing that I did not particularly agree with, because it's okay. Let me take a step back. Okay, we all have our opinions, right? And my opinions ain't no better than Mr. Sean or yours or anybody else, right?
Right.
But the thing that struck a nerve with me last week in the conversation, it was like Mr. Sean was talking about.
I don't think anybody said that, and I really don't want to go there tonight. This morning.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh, okay. I don't want. No, I mean, I wasn't trying to come too hard. I mean, I was.
But you're welcome to speak. But it's just some places I don't want to go. It's not this morning.
Okay. Can I say one more thing, please?
Sure.
Okay. Well, number one, well, first and foremost, because I already mentioned Mr. Sean's name, I did not mean no disrespect or harm, but my only point was in terms of these television shows and reality shows.
Yes, sir.
That was Miss Oprah and her people. I mean,
can I say Tim had produced some of the show. Tim did some of the plot lines and the storylines. No one of my videos are recorded. You can pull them up and play it back and get a clear understanding of what's been said.
oh no, understood. And everything's allegedly, Phil. I was just saying.
Well, that's not alleged. That's facts.
Right. No, I was just saying because I'm kind of old school fan of
Is this Haywood?
Yeah, this is with that. What the name is Haywood, but tell me with Daddy. I know that's right.
Okay.
Yes, it is. No, but my point is, I was trying to say that I just again not been respectful to Mr. Sean or nothing, but it seems to me he was giving more kudos to Miss Robbie in terms of.
All right, y'all. So, hold on a second. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to read any more documents tonight. It says his phone was messing up really bad. That was a blast from the past. A blast from the past. Okay, it's a recording from a previous show. Yeah, it was a recording from a previous show. You are absolutely right. Hey, the best of. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. Okay, and I'm going to re-edit and put some of the stuff back out there. But I thank you guys for hanging out with me for this week. Well, it's only been an hour. Yeah, and I'm done. I'm done for the night. When we see each other again, well, no, we'll probably see each other in the morning maybe. But Tim will have received his sentence. All right, now you may hear it somewhere first, but we're going to still come back over here and talk about it. All right, so I thank y'all so much for supporting me as we covered this. And these are the three main players, in my opinion. And now Dre will get his justice. He will finally get his true justice. All right. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to y'all later.
It's been a long, long time, honey, but I know, yeah. Store. Everybody ain't your friend, everybody ain't your partner. I say I got you. Well, just hold it down and keep it solid. And when you're not around, I protect your name, I won't talk about you. Everybody ain't your friend.
Oh, one other thing. Thank you for reminding me, Kizzy. The poll. Let me see. Where is the poll? So it was, will Tim Norman get a life? 85% of you guys said yes. 15% said no. And I just ended the poll. So there you go. All right. Thank y'all and good night. Oh, we got through early tonight, child. It is just what? What time is it? 8:33. Oh my goodness. What am I going to do with myself the rest of the night? Have some fun. See y'all later.